Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sunday League Pundits channel. I know it's been a while since we last uploaded. I was occupied because my grandfather passed away, but now we are free and we're going to be uploading regularly again. So let's get started.
The first video uploaded on our channel was a prediction for the top six of the Premier League, and our predictions are looking laughable right now. The only safest bet was Liverpool. So the team we went in the first spot was Liverpool. Second, we went for Man City. Third, Chelsea. Fourth, I went for Arsenal. Fifth, I went for Spurs, and sixth, I went for United. If I'm not wrong. And you went for Liverpool in the first, City in the second, United in third, which looks quite likely right now.
How do you see Arsenal not getting above United?
And Chelsea in fourth, and Arsenal in fifth, and Spurs in sixth. So, what do you feel about United? I mean, I'm not saying that it is Ole in or Ole out, but do you trust into the manager taking you forward to a trophy? I mean, challenging for a Premier League, and obviously you're out of the Champions League now, and going far in the Europa League.
I think I really never had a problem with Ole being here because I understood the role Ole was given. So I think it's like a transition manager. Like you can label Ole as a transition manager in terms of what most United fans really feel is that Ole is going to improve the team only to a certain extent. Some people feel he's not going to win a trophy, and then he'll pave the way for a better manager to come in. But I feel barring United exiting the Champions League, which was a major blow, and like totally. And we I think we did bottle it because given the position we had going to after two matches, we really fancied ourselves as going to the knockout stages. But barring that, I think in the league we've been pretty solid so far. Initially, we had a shaky start, but after the sixth game week when we lost to Arsenal, so after that we've been pretty solid. And I think we have six wins and two draws. So I think that's a pretty solid string of results. But in terms of our defense, I think it's really all over the place right now. Last season we only conceded 37 goals throughout the season, so that's around 0.9 goals per match. But this season we have conceded 24 goals already, so we are on track to beat past season's tally by a fair bit. So I think defensively we've been a shambles this season. Like past few matches we've been conceding almost 2 goals a game, which is not good form. If you and some pundits are pipping us to be in the title race. I don't want to go get too ahead of myself because we have been disappointed in the past. But if our board reacts well, if we sign a centre back, which I think we both were pointed out that United really need a centre back in order to finish in the top four. I think getting a centre back is key because Maguire and Lindelof do not have a good balance. So I think if we get a good centre back, I think I still fancy us to finish in the top four. But if we want to push to the second place and even I don't want to really jinx it, but even go for the title. So if we want to do that, we need defensive cover.
Yeah, definitely. You are a centre back. I mean, if you get in a solid centre back, you are in for a shout because the defense has not been really performing well. And now coming out onto the Arsenal saga, I really don't know what's going on at Arsenal right now because we have not been lucky with injuries. Partey came in and he picked up two injuries in a matter of 6 weeks, and he has never really been injured in his career up to now. In Atletico Madrid, he was always present. So we have been unlucky with injuries, but we have not been playing well. Obviously, you can see our shot conversion rate is the lowest in the league. The shots creation is also lowest in the league. So no doubt we are 15th in the league. And before the Chelsea match, we played in the last 5 matches at home. We lost 4 and we drew 1. So there's a lack of discipline also in the squad because we have picked up around 7 red cards in the year. So there needs to be a work on discipline also. And Arsenal have a odd, interesting stand. 25-1 or to get relegated. So if anyone wants to place their bets, it's the time. And against Chelsea also, we got 2 goals of set pieces. One was a brilliant Xhaka free kick, and other was a really good dribble by Tierney, and James fouled him, and we scored the pen. So not getting too ahead of ourselves. If we have the fixture we have coming up, we have Brighton, then we have I guess Newcastle in the FA Cup, and again Newcastle at home and West Brom away. So if we win those fixtures, yes, I think we would move in a direction. But this result is a step in the right direction. We really need to win those fixtures to see where the campaign is going. What do you think, Ajay?
I think you've pretty much covered most of the points. Arsenal, they really lack discipline. They had like in 3 matches in a row, they got sending offs. So there was a really like a discipline problem within the squad. I think, like touching on Arteta, I think tactically he's a sound manager. Like as far as I've seen of him, but in terms of his man management, I think that can be called into question because the dressing room seems all over the place right now. I think no player really seems to be, barring I think Gabriel, every other player seems to be really just off it. And I think Tierney as well. I think if you taking those 2 players out, I think nobody has really performed. I think in the first video I said that if Aubameyang is not firing and Lacazette has been inconsistent last season as well. So I think if Aubameyang isn't firing, Arsenal will struggle in terms of goals, and they have been. There's a gaping hole in the midfield which Ozil would have filled, and I don't think he's going to be called back given how Arteta is stern with his decisions. So I think Arsenal is in a place of worry, and if they don't get any attacking cover in the January window, I think they could be finishing in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah. So on the Ozil situation, I don't think Ozil is really going to come back because there are a lot of politics involved. And if you want to know more about the situation that Ozil is in right now, also we have made a video on it, and you can find the link on the top right hand side of the screen. So coming on to City, I mean City have been playing really defensively this season, and you can see they have switched the formation and they've not really replaced David Silva. So they've gone from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1, and they've now 2 holding mids, Gundogan, Rodri, or sometimes Fernandinho playing in the mid. So you can really see that Guardiola is going with a defensive approach, which is not really Guardiola football. And the number of goals City have scored have really considerably come down. Last season, in 15 games, they had around 43 goals. And this season, they've already played 14 games, so that they have around 22 or 23 goals. So the goals have halved. And the injury of Aguero has a lot to do with it. But really, City, the number of the quality players that City have, and the players on the bench like Mahrez, all of them not starting at every match. So they should really score a lot more goals. What do you think, Ajim? What's gone wrong for City this season?
I think you're right. Aguero has been a big miss, and I think whenever Aguero has been absent from City squad, there has been some sort of shortage of goals. Goals have dried up at different points in previous seasons as well. But really, you were right that Guardiola has changed his approach. He has become a little more defensive. I think that smashing against Leicester was really sort of a wake-up call to Guardiola in some way in terms of sorting out his defense. But ever since that, I think City have never been that that attacking, flowing City that we've come to associate with the City's playing style over the past few seasons when they won the Premier League as well. I think the game against Southampton is a shining example because City scored a goal and they were sitting back the whole game. They were not pushing. They were allowing Southampton to have more of the possession, which you would like probably never associate with Guardiola. And last season that was also the case after a particular point because Liverpool were having an insurmountable lead. But now I think even now they're pretty much behind the pace. Not just Liverpool, but a lot of other teams as well. Guardiola will be seeing the Champions League as the end all in terms of his cementing his City legacy. So I think this season as well they're going to be focusing on the Champions League.
Yeah, you mentioned Liverpool there. So the injury of Virgil van Dijk has really not affected Liverpool season as we thought it would do. And Fabinho has been terrific at centre back, but do you think that they should buy a centre back in January because they have only Nat Phillips and Reece Williams because Joel Matip also walked off injured last night, and Reece Williams and Nathaniel Phillips have been brilliant in odd matches, but they are young centre backs and they will make mistakes, and that is how they learn. So
I think even Jamie Carragher, he came on the telly that day, and he was also talking about after their match against West Brom, which they drew. He was saying that Liverpool really require a centre back, and I think he is right because you see against Fulham, West Brom, and Brighton, they drew all 3 matches, whereas last season you wouldn't see that happening at all. So I think those draws can be somewhat attributed to the inexperience at defense, and they also like I think we were pipping Liverpool for the title largely on account of Thiago coming in, but he's hardly featured for the squad.
Yeah.
I think he's also a good, like a major absence.
Mhm.
I think if he comes back, you can see Liverpool really getting more of the consistency. I think they've been pretty consistent against the top sides. They beat Tottenham a few weeks ago. They have beaten Chelsea as well. They've beaten City as well. They have to play United. So let's see what happens. Could be a top two decider. So let's see. But I think Liverpool still are the favorites for the title. But and they do require a centre back at centre back. I think they've been linked with Kabak from Schalke as well as Upamecano from Leipzig. So I think either of the two.
Liverpool are the favourites to win the title this season, and their Merseyside rivals Everton have been also performing really well this season. I think they are third in the table, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, they are third in the table after Leicester. They won their last 4 away matches, and they started pretty well. They went 5-5, and after that they dropped off, which everybody expected because they don't really have the depth, and the injuries to Allen, James, and Digne really affected their season. But Carlo Ancelotti is a brilliant manager, and he knows how to make his team with the players he has. So he placed Ben Godfrey at left back. In a few matches, he tried the 3-4-3, which didn't really work. So now he's back to a 4. He placed Ben Godfrey at left back and Mason Holgate at right back. They are both centre backs. So I think top 4 finish is a big step too far for them. Do you think, Achin, they can finish in the Europa League spot?
I think Europa League is definitely on the cards for Everton. I think one thing which Everton have improved is their game management, which was really, they were conceding a lot of goals towards the end of the match. But now you can see even like their centre back Yerry Mina, we are like when he was shipped off from Barcelona, we really associated him with like a rash centre back. He had that he was very prone to errors, but now under Ancelotti he is somewhat becoming dependable. And I think initially we did sort of write off Everton in terms of coming into the top 4 because of their defensive frailties, but they've been coping well without Digne, and I think their attack is not, and even James is going to come back, so they're only going to go from strength to strength. So I think I think top 4 could be on the cards. It really depends on the multiple factors that City, are they going to stay inconsistent as they are, and other teams, are they going to step up? Even Chelsea have tailed off in the past few matches. And coming to Chelsea as well. So I think Chelsea is really, I think they somewhat hit a barren run in terms of getting points. They drew 3 matches and won only 1 in the past 5, I think. And I think that has really sort of seen them go down the table. So what do you think? What are the problems with Chelsea, and like what do you think Lampard is doing wrong?